All right, team, so since I actually have the Tesla here, I just thought I would do a, you know, kind of like first glance and first impression review when it comes down to like not really having any experience ever really driving an electric car whatsoever. One of the first things that I noticed is, well, first of all, this is the absolute base model. This is actually the Tesla Model 3 that I bought for my parents. I got it for them for a Christmas gift. I bought it for them and ordered it actually the day before Christmas. It was on the 23rd of December 2019, and today is February 25th. So it pretty much took 2 whole months to actually get delivered, when they estimated that it was going to take about 2 to 4 weeks. One of the other things that I actually want to share when it comes down to this specific car is that this is the standard range. So it's 250 miles. It's pretty much as base as it can get, except for the option of the autopilot. I thought that, you know, if you're going to get a Tesla in comparison to any other electric car, might as well invest $5,000 to $7,000 that it costs to get that specific feature. Again, that's just my opinion. My parents have grandchildren, so therefore I got them the black interior, which is the base option, and my parents actually prefer the pearl white, which is the preference that they have always wanted in any car that they've ever purchased themselves. So one of the really cool things that I personally like about the Tesla is I actually really like the Model 3 and the design in comparison to the Model S. That's just my opinion, but I do have to say that I think that it looks much cleaner, and I don't know, I feel like the Tesla Model S actually looks more like a catfish. I actually really like the design that this one has going on. I love the interior, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. I actually really like these rims. These are the base rims. They do have an upgraded rim that looks a little bit more aggressive, that has, I believe, a 5 to 10 spoke rim, but I think this one's not too bad either. I think the back is clean, it's simple, and it definitely looks, I think, a little futuristic. So again, this is a full kind of 360 view of the car. One of the things that I have to say that I love about this is that I could actually just unlock it straight from my iPhone, as you guys can see there. So now that I'm in the car, I mean, I do have to say that it's pretty spacious when it comes down to, like, you know, there's not too much going on over here. Everything is pretty much in the center console. You know, pretty much put all your custom settings on how you want the car to drive. You have audio, you have this little tab that ends up popping up. You can control the seats, and one of the things that I really like, again, it's very small details, but one of the things that I really like about the Tesla Model 3 that I did not see to be offered in the Model X or the Model S, at least the older versions, is when we do go on over to the actual air conditioning, this thing pretty much just has a strip, right? There's no like air vent. It's just one giant air vent. It's not multiple, it's just one giant one. The really cool thing about this is that you could actually control the way that it comes out. I just think it's very, very unique. You could split it, as you guys could see that I'm doing with the screen. You guys can split it, you can put it together, bring it down, bring it up. There's a lot of cool things that you can do about that or do with that, and I just thought that that was rather unique. When it comes down to driving the Tesla and putting it in drive, all you have to do is, you know, make sure that you step on the actual brake that actually turns on the Tesla, giving it the idea that it's ready to turn on. You know, when you turn on a car and all the lights turn on and then they turn off, the same thing happens on this display. Now that it knows that I'm in the car, I can go ahead and select drive. It will tell me if any of the seats are unbuckled. So I'm gonna have to go ahead and close the door, put on my seatbelt, and when it comes down to that, I'm pretty much all ready to go. When it comes down to the rear view camera, I do have to say, you know, I personally drive a McLaren 720S. I have a Porsche GT3 RS, which doesn't even have a rear camera, and then I have a Lamborghini Huracan as well. And I have to say that this is probably one of the best rear view cameras, solo rear view cameras, in comparison to any of the cars that I personally drive, which I think is great. They have a great display here, might as well use it. The Lamborghini has to be one of the most useless rear view cameras, and it's one of the lowest quality. So they actually went with a really high quality rear view camera here. It's very easy for you to be able to see, you know, if you're going to be turning, it adjusts accordingly. And it's a pretty wide angle lens. The only one that does beat it is the 720S, since that one has that 360 kind of like bird's view rear view camera and 360 camera when I'm, you know, going backwards or going forward. But one of the things that I have to give it when it comes down to the Tesla, I'm going to put that on park, is although I am in park right here, I can actually just click the button right on over here, and this will actually allow me to open up the charging port for the actual Tesla. This will let me open up the front, and this will allow me to open up the trunk. If I want to turn on my camera, I can do that right on over here. If I want to check what the battery is at, you know, you can adjust this according to percentage or to the actual metric of how many miles you have left. And then if I want to say something to this specific car, then I can actually just do it then. So obviously there is going to be a learning curve. So my parents being in their 60s, I don't expect them to be able to fully understand how to navigate through this Tesla as they barely know how to use their iPhone. The more that you interact with a specific item in this sense, it would be, you know, the Tesla Model 3, just like you know, work around with your iPhone. It's just a matter of time for you to pick up on exactly how to use it depending on what it is that you want out of this. So altogether, again, to put it in drive, you put it all the way down. To put it in reverse, you just, you know, bring it all the way up. If you want to put it in neutral, then you just bring it one down, and therefore we have it in neutral. And to put it in park, you actually just push this little button right on over here. One of the things that I was not aware of is to actually put it in you know, autopilot. Is when you do have it in drive, what you do is once you have it in drive and you are going, you press this twice, and you can see that it says auto steer temporarily unavailable. This will actually allow you, if again overall road conditions are available, it will put it into autopilot, which again is not something that every Tesla comes with, but for the $5,000 or $7,000 upgrade that you pay for, it does come with that option. Again, that is 100% preference. It's not something that I would recommend for everyone. I just thought if I'm gonna go and buy a Tesla for my parents, I just thought that to have that full experience, I don't need them to have the best rims, I don't need them to have any fancy colors, when again, that's not really something that they would appreciate. But I think that again, as they're getting older, they appreciate kind of the very unique things of a car, and I think the autopilot feature is something that, you know, is rather unique that Tesla does offer. But altogether, when it comes down to driving, this one has a range of 250 miles. There's a series of different supercharging stations around my parents' house, so that could be very useful. They want to visit my brother in San Diego, even if they want to visit me in Arizona. One of the really cool things about this specific Model 3 that I'm sure the other Tesla models offer as well, is you can just click on over here on the map, you click on this little power bolt right here. It actually shows you where the nearest supercharger is. Even if you are planning to take a trip, it can actually route your entire trip according to where the nearest supercharger is, just to make sure that you always have charge as you're making your commute, which again, I think is very considerate when it comes down to, you know, well, if you run out of juice, you're pretty much stuck. So that's the very unfortunate part about a Tesla. But altogether, I do have to say, based off of kind of like my first impressions of this car, I'm sure it will change just like anything else. Everything, especially on the technology side, are always going to have issues, and Tesla is in no way any exception. But I'm very excited to learn more about it, to see and hear about my parents' feedback. Their overall first impressions, they're just extremely grateful to have a reliable car that, you know, they can use, especially for my parents and wanting to pick up their grandchildren and spend a little bit more time with them. Now they don't need to worry about gas. I did tell them that the supercharger is connected to my cards. Therefore, by them using the supercharger means that I'm actually going to be paying for their charges. But again, I think that's why we work so hard in life, is so we can get to a point in life where we can give back to those that we love the most. And this is a very small price for me to pay for, you know, how grateful I am in the way that I was raised and the values that they instilled in me. So I really do appreciate you guys' time. Let me know in the comments section both positive or negative feedback that you guys might have about your own experience with Tesla. I would love to learn more about it. You know, I've heard both positive and negative things overall, just like we would hear about anything about the specific Tesla Model 3 and a series of other Tesla models. So feel free to share that in the comment section based off of your experience, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, and maybe what to look out for. So I hope that I earned your thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you guys would like to stay connected, just a friendly reminder, we do run the largest Facebook group in the world for those that day trade in the stock market. We have over 244,000 members, and again, we are one link away. That's going to be that first link down below. Like always, team, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team. Woo-wee.